Joining me now is the president and CEO of Second Harvest Food Bank, Michelle Orge. Thank you so much for being here. I know you're going to be here all night. What is going through your mind right now? How are you feeling about how things are going so far?
I'm feeling hopeful. I'm feeling good about where we're at. The phones have been ringing. We've been getting folks who've been going online to donate. Folks that volunteers are here. There's a lot of food being sorted right now. I'm feeling good.
Tell me, let's talk about the need. For those who are watching, who maybe haven't decided what they want to commit, what are you seeing from your 300 partner agencies asking for help and directly at the food bank?
I talk about hope, but there's a lot of concern too. Our partners are really concerned about the lack of resources that they're seeing, that Second Harvest is seeing, and ultimately that the folks that are requesting food support are seeing. It's throughout our whole 16-county service area. Folks are struggling. There's concerns about what happens next year, what happens next month, what happens tomorrow. It's tough out there.
And I know for the food bank in particular, with the loss of federal funding, you have to rely on the community more to step up.
Mm-hmm. During the pandemic, there were funds available to us. There were funds available to folks who were struggling with food insecurity, and now those aren't there. And now the gap that we're facing, that's even bigger than during the pandemic, that needs to come from folks with small, medium, large donations. Yeah.
And we rely on all of your generosity. When you reflect on the power of one and the theme of our campaign, what do you think about?
We are one food bank that supports 16 counties and 300 partners. When you provide resources to Second Harvest, we are a really great investment for food support. And one food bank can support lots of different school markets, pantries, meal programs, lots of places. So the power of one food bank can go out to 300 partners and programs.
Michelle, thank you. Representing the one food bank, reaching out to the one person who's watching who can pick up the phone and call. We'll go back to Mark.